that is how Data East became Kanye West.
Yep. What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Joining me this week is Justin Davis,
Scoop.
Jared Petty,
Scoop.
Sam Claiborne.
Scoop.
We've got such a great show for you this week. We got to kick off our year-end wrap-up coverage with the overlooked games of 2016, the worst games of 2016. Ooh. But first, Jared.
Yeah.
Do you have something you'd like to share with the class?
Yeah, I'm.
We're doing this live?
Are we doing it live? I don't know. I'm rather terrified.
No, this is not live.
Yes, I am. I'm stepping away from IGN. I've been offered a job at Electronic Arts. I didn't know there was going to be a soundtrack to this. Oh, what is it? Oh, it's Kids from School Days, the NES game. There we go. Yeah, I've been offered a position at EA, and I'm gonna go over there and be a social content editor for Electronic Arts.
You're leaving us here at IGN and GameScoop to go to EA.
I am. And I am very happy about going there and very sad about leaving here. This is the best job I've ever had.
More happy about going there than sad about leaving here. That's
I mean,
else you would just be
otherwise
here
you would just.
I don't know how to proportion emotion, but
I mean, you wouldn't be leaving.
I have cried a lot. I mean, I cry a lot anyway. I'm a kind of sensitive guy. But
Is it because of that ice skating anime show that everybody is always crying over here?
I mean, that's another great reason to cry. Okay. Yuri on Ice? Yes, that's a wonderful reason to cry. But no, that's just...
You can be honest, you're leaving because we're always so mean to you on GameScoop.
That's what it's all about. I mean, if you guys had stopped bullying me, Justin's just so mean to me every episode. I did see somebody said it was so I wouldn't have to write the Knack 2 guide, which
is pretty good. Did you do the guide for Knack 1?
I did. Yes, I played more Knack than anyone, but I may have played more Knack than Mark Cerny.
I would consider contracting you to write the Knack 2 guide. You do know more about Knack than anybody else.
It's breaking all kinds of rules and ethical regulations, but we may just make an exception.
Make it happen anyway.
Also, they're wikis. You could just do it for free.
Yeah, but anyone can be the Knack 2 guide editor.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a blue Knack now.
This is their blue Knack. Yeah, all right, so it's kind of like
blue Knack.
Don't pretend you're ignorant of the blue Knack. I know you.
I'm sorry.
We already talked about it.
Too busy being excited
Remember
about
the Marble Madness Easter egg?
Windjammers.
All right. I don't want to get too far off track, but Jared, we are going to be very, very sad to see you go.
So rude, Damon.
No, you're not rude at all. I do love you've got the new monitor there, and it zooms in on you sometimes when you're talking. I keep wanting to do this, just
your last chance.
Just kind of like. Yeah. I don't know.
I was saying you're going to be missed.
Maybe not now. I'm holding it together, but I'm really sad.
Jared, obviously, we're going to miss you. You've been a big part of GameScoop these past couple of years, and I know the fans are going to miss you too. You've become a fan favorite guest here on the show.
Well, you gave me a marvelous chance to come in here so often and do something I really loved. I love talking about games and listening to interesting people talk about games, and that's what this show's about. I love doing this. It's meant just so much to me, Damon. Thank you.
You know more about video game history than almost anybody I can think of. So your knowledge and insight has been very valuable to us all.
I've been making it all up this entire time.
You're right. I've been hosting the show for many years, and I've had many guests on the show. You're one of the good ones, Jared. You're one of the good ones.
Thanks, Damon.
Top tier.
Not like that Brudvig.
Thank you.
I love Eric Brudvig.
Thank you very much, Damon. That means a lot. And thanks to everybody else, too.
But we have 2 scoops left for you this week and next week. So let's begin your penultimate game scoop.
Oh, I love that word.
Which does not mean ultimate.
No, it means before ultimate.
Second to ultimate.
Yeah, second to ultimate. Wow, 2 scoops of plump, juicy raisins?
Not raisins.
No.
Video
Jared.
Video game news scoops.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
I'm going to start calling you Juicy
really
Jared.
clears up this show for me. This whole time I was thinking raisins.
Me too. I don't understand why we didn't talk about grapes more. Thank you, Justin.
I would never host a show about raisins.
Oh, you don't like raisins?
No.
What about craisins?
What the hell?
No.
Raisins are good.
No.
What about freeze-dried bananas?
Raisins are nature's candy.
What about raisins and mincemeat?
We got 2 big banana chips for you guys today.
Let's begin this week with our real coverage with PlayStation. What is it? Where does it come from?
Ken Kutaragi had a dream.
Over the weekend, the 3rd annual PlayStation Experience was held in Anaheim, California. Everybody tuned in or caught up with all the big announcements from the show, I assume?
Yeah.
I had to catch up,
I watched the pre- and post show that you hosted.
We hosted a pre- and post show here. I think it was a great show. Stronger than last year, I think. Just lots of really fun game announcements. Obviously, the big announcement of this year's show was The Last of Us 2.
Part 2, yeah.
Part 2, yeah.
And Windjammers.
Last
And
of Us,
Windjammers.
Windjammers Part 2.
Windjammers Part 1.
The next generation.
Yeah.
And then
Any thoughts? Any
I can't
initial
even say Knack 2. I can't say it.
any initial thoughts on The Last of Us Part 2?
Yeah, it looks neat. No, I mean it looks really, really cool. It's hard to say like it's as good as a tone piece, right? But
Yeah.
there's definitely some hints in that trailer that maybe is not all as it seems. You can check out IGN's Rewind Theater for more on that. But I think the story is going to be taken in some pretty interesting directions.
I have a confession to make.
Okay.
And this is something I've been holding in for a long time.
Yeah.
Wondering if I would ever share it. But I think now is the right time
I think
to share
I
it.
know where this is going.
I played The Last of Us.
Yeah.
But never beat The Last of Us.
Did you play the snow scene?
No, I mean, it's been a while now since I even played it, so I don't remember how far I got. So I always assumed one of them died. I thought surely one of them died, but I guess not.
Yeah, that's not what happens at the end of The Last of Us. Both of our
Almost. Close.
Yeah, it comes very close. We're ruining The Last of Us for everyone who
Well,
hasn't
you
played.
don't
but
need
we're
to tell
gonna
me.
get-
I definitely want to make a point to finish The Last of Us.
But yes, both those characters
the
survive.
snowy forest part is really cool.
I mean,
I actually also-
it wasn't for any reason. It's just I didn't have a PS3.
At all?
Well, how
when it
did
came
you how did you play
I had a 360,
all those
like everyone
Disgaea
did.
games?
Because the first 3 were on PS2. No, I think the first 2, and then I played PS3 or the PS3. Anyway,
There's a part of me that's like, but Flower.
Did you miss a
Journey,
Disgaea?
but
no, I played all the Disgaeas. Then when it came to PS4, I obviously played it, but then something else came out, and I just got distracted. So I got to
Actually,
make a point to come back.
I never thought it was bad, but I did always think Last of Us was overrated. I didn't think it was Game of the Year. I thought the storytelling was incredible, and I always thought the gameplay was just so. And like,
I think that's a fair critique to make, but I do think that it's easy for us to look back now and say that and forget the fact that if The Last of Us did manage to marry cinematic storytelling and a reasonably deep gameplay in ways that very few games had before.
Yeah, it's
and I think that the reason we were all standing there astounded then, and it's easy to forget now, is people have done that well since. But at that time, it had not been done much, and it was revolutionary in that regard.
I think Portal and Portal 2 and Uncharted had done it by then.
I mean,
Yeah.
the only thing I remember doing,
I see your point.
my
Sorry to interrupt.
enduring memory of The Last of Us is throwing bricks. Hiding behind cover
love
and
that,
just
yeah.
throwing bricks across.
Oh, those cordyceps love those bricks. They're like, "Where's that brick at?"
Yeah.
and then they go right for it.
Yeah, you got to get that brick.
It was
Yeah.
a competent, scary, engaging stealth game tied to a very well told story. And I sort of agree on Portal and Portal 2, but those were less cinematic. Uncharted, of course, is a very close comparison. But
You're fired.
But those two games are, those are all about out of the eyes. I actually prefer them because you're there seeing out of the driver's seat, whereupon The Last of Us actually managed to use cutscenes well. And you guys have heard me complain about cutscenes before. I don't usually enjoy them. But in The Last of Us, I was like, no, please keep talking because it was so well done.
Yeah. Well, it is extraordinarily beloved among our audience at IGN.
Absolutely.
Like,
it
it
won
seems to be, like,
the,
far and
the
away-
crowd cheering award at our live
The crowd
Gamescom
cheering
panel.
award. Yeah.
Science actually determined that. Here's a thing about that trailer is that like when you actually, without the context of The Last of Us being a really good game and that people like a lot, it was really cheesy. It's like a girl is playing a crappy acoustic guitar song.
You think the new
in
trailer?
a house full of dead people? Like what the hell was that? Like if I was showing
I
that
don't
to like
If that
somebody,
was The
to
Last
sell
of
them
Us
on a
1 and
video
you didn't have
game?
the context of it being a sequel to
Yeah.
one of the most beloved games ever, it might not stand up on its own as a
No,
piece
I
of...
thought it was like, I especially don't want to be involved in these characters who are so apathetic to
Yeah, I do. I think
the
that
carnage around them.
The Last of Us in the video game space kind of exists in the same place that Episode 7 did for Star Wars. You have this franchise that cannot be mentally separated from what came before. The Last of Us was such a big deal in gaming that I think that they were able to get away with that because they knew practically everyone seeing this trailer was familiar with the property ahead of time to some degree. And I think that's why they could do that and why they were able to pull it off.
Well, and this is I don't think it's a spoiler because it's all speculation. It's all just guessing. But based off that trailer, some people think Joel's not really there, and maybe that's
Is
affecting.
Ghostman?
Yeah, maybe, and that's affecting Ellie's.
Ghost dad.
Yeah, it's basically going to be a stealth sequel to Ghost Dad,
Starring Bill Cosby.
or maybe not. But that's kind of what the chatter is.
That would be a colossally bad idea in so many ways. Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
that's like the
it makes
twist in
she's a very,
television,
very
though.
angry.
Oh
woman
no, I'm talking about
saying-
Ghost Dad. Just making any. Yeah, let's. I don't think we should be making Leonard Part 7 or Ghost Dad 2 or any of that at this point. That would be bad.
You know,
Anyway, I was a little surprised if you had asked me, if I thought they would reveal Last of Us 2 at PlayStation Experience, I would have said no. I think that I would expect that to be more of an E3 reveal.
But they heard the applause at the IGN house.
yeah, that was it.
They had no choice after that.
No choice.
Yeah.
They weren't
Also,
even
their hand was-
working on the game.
Their hand was forced.
Also,
I thought the
Windjammers.
other trailer for the Uncharted spinoff.
I thought that looked awesome.
I totally thought it was Tomb Raider. And I was
did
like,
too.
In what context is Tomb Raider coming out?
Yeah, I've been conditioned to think a woman breathing heavily is Lara Croft.
Right, and then there's the idea. Well, I think this is a really good plot idea, but it seems like it's going to be about how like archaeological sites need to be saved from war zones.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think that's kind of what it looks like, Syria, right? But and I thought that would be a really good topic for Tomb Raider, but it'll be totally fine for Uncharted spinoff too.
Yeah.
Well, that's
it's-
a really cool spin.
And they did announce, I might be mistaken on this, but it's going to be standalone, right? Sort of like how The Last of Us DLC was.
That's what I understood it to be.
Someone
I
else
talked
told me
Andrew
that
about
it is the Last of Us 4 DLC, but I guess I'm not sure what.
or Uncharted 4 DLC.
The Uncharted 4, yeah.
It is,
Okay.
but
You can play it on your own, on its own.
they've done that more and more often. Assassin's Creed did that too.
But we're still not talking about the fact that Windjammers
Well,
is
I
now
wanted-
available with online multiplayer.
I did want to bring up the fact that at PSX there was no shortage of '90s comebacks.
Indeed.
No kidding.
Windjammers is one of them.
I actually think
very excited about.
Parappa, like here's the deal, like I really like rhythm games. I really liked Parappa, but it feels so much like a product of its time. Like that's a genre that people have improved on, and it's like to re-release the original game. It's like, man, I don't know. Like
I don't know.
I like the
We talk
song.
about-
PlayStation nostalgia is interesting. That
I
it's
like the
happening.
And we
songs a
do
lot.
talk about video game preservation. So even if the game doesn't play as well as it does in our memory, I think it's nice to be to polish it up and release it again.
And I think rhythm games can get away with that. First, video game preservation is great. Second, Parappa's got such great music, and that's some of the appeal right there. Is the songs don't get worse over time. In a way, they might even get better, and that makes it fun. Also, Windjammers with on the multiplayer.
Jammer Lammy.
the songs are dope, but just to hear Parappa saying kick, kick, punch, kick, like when you're pressing the buttons, it's like, ooh, we've gotten past that. Like I'm playing through Thumper right now, and it's like, goodness gracious, rhythm games have come a long way.
That's very fair. Again, I definitely understand that. I'm not sure I'm going to go back and play it, although I'm glad they're doing it.
Speaking of all those 90s games and the original PlayStation, our first email this week comes from Brayton Hanna. He emailed us at the email address gamescoop@ign.com, just like you can. And he says, hello, Scoop Crew. Thank you for, hopefully, taking the time to view this email. Few-year listener, first-time writer. He's been listening for a few years.
I gotta stop you for a second. The Scoop Crew can't view your emails, and here's why: because Damon only gets to see the secret choices for 20 questions.
Damon hoards them. Occasionally, you forward one.
We
to
don't
the
have
rest of
any
us.
Yeah,
window.
if someone writes in and
into-
says something nice about you guys, I forward
he
it
does.
to
He
you.
forwards them.
He
It's
does.
really nice.
It's very sweet.
Brayton says, my question is as follows. As a high school student born in the 2000s, I feel that I have missed out on many classic games from before my time. So, in order to expand my knowledge of classic games, I acquired an original PlayStation.
Oh.
However, I have no games for this device. So my question, Scoop Crew, is what are the top 10 PS1 games of all time?
Oh, goodness gracious, Brayton. Well, you got your Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. You got your Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
And that's it.
You got your Ape Escape.
Yeah.
Oh, you
so
do love that Ape Escape.
let's-
Yeah, let's just. Oh,
Let's all
man.
just, if we all,
You got your
if we're all just gonna
Suikoden 1
pick-
and 2.
if we were all to pick just 2 or 3 games, but
just-
we don't want to just throw 100 games at them.
Well, there's so many. That system
That's
was
why-
so prolific.
That's
Well,
why
but
I
I
want
do
to
think-
say just pick 2 or 3 games.
All right.
I will say, I think every single one of the games I just said, except maybe Ape Escape, is available. Like you can get Final
let's-
Fantasies on Steam and like.
Let's walk this back though. They're remaking Final Fantasy VII.
Well, yeah, but it's
Maybe-
going to be a completely different game.
Yeah. So I don't know. Should he play the original or just wait? And there's probably a better version of the original available now.
Well, that's
on
what I'm
Steam or
getting at.
something.
Is I'm trying to think of games that are maybe
Yeah, but-
he's got the original PS1.
Yeah,
What
that are-
disc does
Well,
he actually
I
need
can
to
start
track
you there.
down?
If you're going to run out and grab a disc, one of the first to grab is a very imperfect but absolutely wonderful little game called Bushido Blade
Yes,
that you can't
I was
play
gonna
anywhere
recommend.
else. Yeah,
I was going to recommend both Bushido Blade 1 and 2.
two's okay.
well-
Hey, how are the Final Fantasy collections?
Hold on. We're not done talking about
He's rolling it back on Bushido Blade
because that is a very there's nothing else like Bushido Blade.
Yeah,
It's a one-hit kill fighting game.
right. There's
That's
no
amazing.
life bar. It's ridiculously deep. It's very rough
Yeah.
around the edges, but that kind of adds to its charm. Honestly,
That's a very cool original PlayStation
it's like
game to
Nidhogg?
pick up.
Not exactly. Imagine if Nidhogg were really like tactical.
It's in 3D. It's a old samurai sword weapon fighting game. where you can chop off someone's head with one hit.
Yeah, you choose a fighter and you choose a weapon, and they all handle differently in combination with each other. You have huge movesets that are fairly easy to learn.
So normally you're parrying and blocking.
You're parrying and blocking or feinting, and if you hit a leg, it might
Yeah.
kill if you hit an artery, or it might just maim. And then, but there's
really
no,
cool.
you're not really sure
So
how
why
healthy
didn't it
you
become
are.
a series?
It did.
Why
There was a
didn't it?
sequel.
Oh, it did.
There was a sequel, yeah.
Yes.
But it
One
was
sequel.
but they're both on PlayStation. But you mentioned the Final Fantasy collections or anthologies.
I've
yeah.
always heard like, are those the poor ones?
I'm not crazy about them because
That's where you can play 5 and 3.
Yeah, you don't want load times with your Final Fantasy games, and there's a lot of that trouble with the PlayStation.
That's what hurts.
Well, there's always a
versions of
trade-off. Like the anthologies on PS1 added gorgeous FMV cutscenes that are just fantastic, but then it also introduced load times into the menus, and it's like there's these trade-offs.
Yeah, in my opinion, I would avoid the Chrono Trigger and
Yeah, I
Final
think
Fantasy
I-
stuff on
I
PlayStation.
tend to agree. I think if you want to play those games, pick them up on Steam.
Yeah, or on DS.
But you mentioned Symphony of the Night.
Symphony of the Night is, I think everybody at this table is going to
It's
jump
the
right
only
there.
PlayStation game I've ever beat.
Yeah, but once again, that's available on Xbox Live Arcade.
It is.
And it's even backwards compatible now on Xbox One. So, I mean, sure, pick up the original disc. You can't go wrong. But I'm still kind of racking my brain for games that are kind of trapped on the PS. Colony Wars.
Yeah,
What
well,
about
yeah,
Tony
yeah.
Hawk Pro Skater 2?
Tony Hawk 2. And I like 4, but I know that's an underrated opinion.
It's,
We had Tony Hawk 2 is good, but they also didn't they remade one of the Tony Hawks for
yeah, the
Xbox
original.
Live Arcade, but I think that
Yeah,
was the original.
the old
The
school
first
Tony
one.
Hawks is a good answer. A game like Colony Wars.
Colony Wars is a space shooter.
Yeah,
always
that's
wanted to play
very
that.
cool. Those games are very
Klonoa's
cool.
finally been re-released. That's another PlayStation game to play.
I have a really good one.
What's one?
Einhander.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that game was cool.
absolutely.
One of the greatest 2D shooters of all time in the style of Gradius and Life Force, and it's only on PlayStation.
From like the height of shooters too, and like
And made
it's not
by
affected
Square.
by CD-ROM.
Made by Square.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's
I didn't
an
know that.
absolutely lovely.
Can you
game.
name another a shooter that Square made?
I think it's their only one.
I have one.
Are you thinking
the very first game they ever
King's
made?
Knight?
Oh,
King's
what,
Knight,
3D
yeah.
Load
King's
Runner?
Knight.
That's
King's
a shooter?
Knight. It's a shooter.
King's Knight. Yeah. It's
about 3D Load Runners? Did they
It
do that one?
looks like Final Fantasy, and you're a little warrior.
3D World Runner is what
Yeah,
I think.
3D Load Runner is a different thing entirely.
3D
yeah.
World Runner is with the 3D glasses.
I'm trying to think of any. I would say Crash Bandicoot's probably the only truly great like 3D mascot platformer on the platform. There's stuff like Spyro, that I don't think ever got ported.
What about
There's
Yeah,
also
Tomb Raider is not fun, right?
The old school Tomb Raider, and they all got ports, and Sly
But-
Cooper
Yeah.
got better
The
ports.
old school Tomb Raider is probably it's like
I've tried to play those. They don't work anymore.
No, yeah.
I know
don't
they're
how to
very
play them.
clunky, but it's probably it's a very interesting piece of video game history.
Yeah, Crash is all right. I really do think Klonoa is the one to go play if you're going to play a platformer. But that's 2.5D.
Tomba's good.
Geez, I
Tomba's
forgot
good.
about Tomba.
That's another PlayStation game.
Goodness.
It's another side-scrolling caveman game. Maybe that's the best.
Yeah, best game.
You could pick up like maybe like Tekken 3, one of those.
RPG wise,
Tekken 3 is
Suikoden
great.
2 again, which has been re-released some places, but Suikoden 2 is a must play.
What's that turn-based strategy game from Konami?
Dragon Force?
Vandal Hearts.
Vandal Hearts.
Yeah, that's good. And so is Final Fantasy Tactics. But again, it's been re-released. but
Shining
that's
Force
a great one.
3.
Yeah, yeah.
Tactics.
Whoa,
yeah.
Shining Force 3 on PlayStation?
Or was it on Saturn?
Yeah, I don't think that's on PlayStation. That's a
Vagrant
Sega thing.
Story.
Vagrant Story.
That's
Also from Square?
Yeah, that's one to play. That's a great
I think
game.
that's Zach Ryan's favorite game.
Vagrant Story is
Wait,
wonderful.
I never played Final Fantasy Tactics, but that came out on PS.
That's its original
was
one.
PlayStation,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
that's like one of the best games ever made.
I got some music in Tactics.
Oh, it's my favorite Final Fantasy music is Tactics.
How broken is the story in that game? Makes no sense.
If you play it in the remakes where they retranslated it, it suddenly makes sense.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, you're right. In
no
the
idea what's
PlayStation,
going on
no
in the
idea.
original game.
I'm pretty sure someone's betraying somebody here. I'm not sure why.
Have you guys bought classic Final Fantasy music in 15? Have you guys been
Oh,
playing
it's the
15?
best, yeah.
I didn't
While
know you
you're
could
driving
buy
around.
more. I know. I thought
Yeah.
you're
you
from the
buy-
beginning. You have Final Fantasy original.
Yeah.
and
You
Buy it
7.
from shops.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
I
got
haven't
the
seen
Final Fantasy IV soundtrack, and it's so
Right?
great to listen
That's
to.
really
while
good.
I love
driving
this.
around.
I love that the characters shut up when you're driving.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
just sit in silence.
And
I'm
listen
like,
to
why
To
does
the
that
Red
make you?
Barons.
Why does that make you feel so much like a real person?
It's great.
It's wonderful, man. We're missing so much. I'm just like this. I'm gonna think of 50 things after we
Intelligent Cube.
Thrasher. What is
The-
Thrasher?
Destroyed the first skateboarding game.
I never
For
played.
people
I
that are
never played-
listening,
Awesome.
I never played Thrasher.
can they hear Sean?
I don't know. Well, maybe these mics might be able to pick
Sean
it up.
recommended Thrasher.
I haven't played it.
I got one. Go back and play Metal Gear Solid, the first one. It's the PlayStation version. I think
sure
is
you
still
have
the
the
most
case with it,
fun.
though.
Yeah, that's still the remakes have been kind of too slick. I feel like Twin Snakes.
I don't like Twin Snakes.
That's what I mean. It's too slick. That's why I like the
Dave's
original.
got an idea, everybody.
Lest I forget, Rival Schools.
Oh yeah.
An incredible fighting game from
Twin
Capcom.
Snakes, the first person in Twin Snakes literally breaks the game. Don't play it.
Okay. Anyway, Rival Schools from Capcom. The original is only on PlayStation. There was only one sequel for Dreamcast, and it's really, really good.
The Rival Schools is bodacious.
I'm serious about if you get Metal Gear Solid, you have to have the case with it. Otherwise, you're going to be in real trouble halfway through that game.
Or you can just look the case up on the internet.
What about Resident Evil?
Eh,
I never played it.
The remake. I
the
think
remake
better.
is so good.
Okay.
It's really
Yeah, RE2 is that's not available
But
yet.
they're
It's
remaking
they're
that one
remaking
also.
that now. RE2 is totally worth your time now.
Okay, moving on, but sticking with PlayStation. This week, just 2 days ago, I believe, PlayStation 4 crossed the 50 million sold mark.
Wow.
That's how many PlayStation 4s are out there in the wild now.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a big old deal.
Yep. So, to put this in context, 50 million sold puts it just above the Super Nintendo.
Oh wow. Okay. Video games are bigger.
Yeah.
The industry has grown.
PS4 is going to be a monster console when all's said and done.
Would you believe it's still about 32 million units behind the PSP?
Really? They sold 80 million?
82 million PSPs.
82 million. I didn't realize.
Because of its popularity with stuff in Japan. Well,
Yeah,
is it
Monster Hunter. Monster
Yeah.
Hunter was huge.
It's
I
just a
didn't.
Monster Hunter device.
82 million?
Yeah,
of those things?
PSPs. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I guess that's like.
Plus, like, how else are you going to watch your movies? You have to have a universal media
Those
device.
UMDs.
Yeah,
So
and I
it's so
get-
universal.
And when I was in Japan, like if you walked into a train or you walked into a McDonald's
Don't
on a
walk into a
Saturday,
train.
there were groups of 4 people sitting
watch where
around,
you're going.
and they were all clawing. Like you knew they were playing Monster Hunter because they were all doing the claw.
Yeah,
To
that would
use
be-
control scheme.
to control the camera in Monster Hunter on a PSP was a nightmare, and you had to like contort your hands. An entire generation of Japanese people are going to have like deformed hands because of PSP Monster Hunter.
I've been trying to sell my Spider-Man 2 UMD on eBay for 6 years. I relist it every 2 weeks. No one ever buys it.
I would love to have a full collection of HD DVDs and UMDs. I think that's really cool.
That'd be
Are
amazing.
UMDs like 20 years from now? Are they going to be rare?
Oh yeah, totally. They'll be like boutique. They'll have little like players.
I mean, 8-tracks are really popular to collect,
Yeah.
and they sound bad and they look really cool.
It's so
though.
hard to
They
predict.
do
It's like,
look
what
cool.
trash do I have in my apartment right now that's going to be valuable someday?
What's the music format that came out in the 90s?
They
that
made the
was
little
solid state?
mini
clip
disc?
pack things.
Mini disc.
Oh, and they had mini discs.
I had a mini disc player.
Yeah. What other thing you're talking about?
They made a thing where it was like they looked almost like Game Boy carts, and you could snap them into a little music player. I think it was mostly
pocket
for kids.
rockers.
Is that what it was
Those
called?
are called pocket rockers. Yes.
That was like around maybe like the late
Scandalous.
90s.
I remember those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the mini disc, like they didn't skip.
Yep. Actually, the mini disc kind of caught on in Japan. Again, when I was living there, you
They're
would
bigger in
still
Japan,
find them, and you could burn them. So you'd find a lot of like.
I remember the
bootleg
section
ones.
in Best Buy when at the height of CDs, which had the mini disc section. And look, all the stuff was out on mini disc.
Yeah, I would play. I would play like songs from my preschool on a mini disc sometimes.
So 50 million PS4s sold. It's beating the Super Nintendo. It's 11 million units behind the NES
Okay,
and the 3DS.
it's definitely going to pass those.
Yeah, I mean it's on its way to 100 million probably.
It'll probably pass
I mean, to
them
Jared's
next year.
point, or Justin's point, that it's a reminder of the times. I mean, like games are just bigger than they were.
Yeah.
And so we hope they always beat the previous system. But man, the PS2 is going to be hard to beat.
Well, the PS4 is such a it's a quality product. I mean, it's a
great.
great system.
And the Wii is the highest selling of all time.
I think I
have to
think
look
it
it
ended up falling off. It was on that trajectory. Maybe it is.
It might be the DS.
Well,
it'd be way up there.
Brain training.
I guess I'm not sure. That's a
What
good
if there
question.
was some unified, connected series of informational computers that could just feed us this information?
Sounds like science fiction.
It's either the PS2, the DS, or the Wii. It's up there, but I think it's probably between those two.
We should get our modems out.
Does that
We
count
should.
PS4 Pro?
Yeah, that does
Yeah.
count PS4 Pro. They're counting it as all one system. All right, our next email comes from Frederick.
up,
He
Frederick?
says, with the gaming year of 2016 soon coming to an end, the debate for Game of the Year will begin. My question is, what games have there been any overlooked games this year that haven't gotten the attention they deserve and that you believe are worth checking out? Overlooked games of 2016.
I got one to throw out there right away. It's from the very beginning of the year, and I think people might have missed it because of that. Take a look at Pony Island.
I hear about this game.
Take a look at Pony Island. That is not what you think it is when you start playing it.
Pony Island is a PC game.
PC game, and it's
I
not
think it's really cheap.
particularly-
I think it's like $5.
Yeah, it's not particularly demanding. That's a really nifty game that I think flew under the radar because The Witness came out almost immediately after, and I think it kind of got lost in the shadow of that. Not that, I mean, The Witness is probably my game of the year, but Pony Island's still worth checking out.
Can you affix a genre to Pony Island?
No.
It is genreless.
It is a surprise.
It plays like a platformer, but it's got surprises.
Like an adventure game, right?
But yeah, it's more like an adventure game, or as much like an adventure game as it is a platformer.
It's a game that trades on. It specifically makes itself look like one thing and then turns into something
Like
else.
Frog Fractions, is that the other game?
A little bit. It's in the same wheelhouse as that. Yeah.
Did you like it, Justin?
I still have yet to play through it. It's been on my list forever. I bought it in, I think, the Steam sale months and months and months ago, and just never got around to
It's
it.
a nifty little game. That's totally one I think didn't get its due.
I think I wish I would have known this was today's topic because this is my trade. You know, I almost exclusively play smaller, weirder games these days. But you'll need to come back to me.
I have one.
What is it?
Lucky's Tale.
Oh,
Wait, which one is that?
the
The Oculus one.
It's really the only full Oculus game. I mean, there's a few that are like that, but that's like a full start to finish platformer. And the reason I like it is I feel like I'm doing a book report. It's great. The reason I brought this game to show you is it's a 3D platformer, and you think like how could VR affect that in any way? It's so much cooler than any first-person VR I've played because it does this thing with the size of like you think like how big is Banjo-Kazooie's world, and you think about it living in your TV, and that's how big this game seems to you when you're in that space. You feel like a giant looking down on this tiny little figure. But the world around you still exists. So the world is this giant miniature world around you with little houses and trees and a huge tree trunk going up into the sky. And then you're platforming around that. And it's the coolest feeling VR experience I had, period.
the best VR games I played have all been third person. Res Area X is that way. It's a third person game. That really cool demo that comes with the Vive that has the why am I forgetting this? The shooter. What's that with?
The one where you hold the two things.
Yeah,
and
you're control. It's it's one where you're. It's like it's very much like a shmup. You're controlling a ship where
think
your
we're talking
remote
about the
is.
same
Are we?
thing.
Okay, that's a marvelous game. And of course, Super
that game was so
Hypercube, which is also third person, and that's another
And that
overlooked
one,
game.
you're contouring a shape to go into a shape, and you'll hit it otherwise. It's going out of track.
An underrated aspect of VR until you put the helmet on and understand it for yourself is exactly what Sam said, how it changes your sense of scale. You know, it's like when you look at Mario on your television, you don't think about Mario as being small and those trees being small, but when you're in that world, you're right. You feel like a big, huge, giant man looking down on a miniature world. And that's what makes horror games so weird, because even if you have a giant TV, you know, the zombie is still out. Like if my TV is 55 inches, that zombie's what, 1 foot tall?
Yeah.
But when I'm in that world, that zombie is suddenly as big as I am, and it's right in your face.
You really react to the feeling of a presence next to you.
Exactly.
The change of scale is really a hard thing to articulate about VR until you're inside of it.
Lucky's Tale would certainly qualify as being overlooked because, man, when people talk about VR games, they talk about Batman, Super Hypercube, Res. I don't hear anyone talking about Lucky's Tale.
But I pulled over everybody that was nearby when we were playing it, and it's just really impressive. It's the one game when I take it home and a bunch of people come over and we play the system because I don't own one. That's the one that everybody keeps on playing and wants to play. And I just think it's cool that they took a chance on a standard. It's like the first time you play Mario 64, like how different that felt and how that opened up your mind to like how big a game world can be and how it can feel and how interacting. Like that did that for me more than any other VR game. And man, I'm like 3 years ago sitting in the cockpit of Eve Valkyrie is like the same thing. I mean, that was incredible.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I don't know, I may need to do some research and maybe pin a comment to the top of GameScoop because I'm drawing a little bit of a blank. But I do want to shout out to Pac-Man Championship Edition 2.
Oh, yeah.
The first one came out, got 10 out of 10 scores everywhere, said it was just, incredibly fun and such a nice modern update to Pac-Man. Sequel came out, it still got good reviews. Like I think we gave it an 8.5, which is great on the IGN scale. It's a great game, but no one really seemed to talk about it. It didn't seem to get a lot of hype.
Yeah.
But like if you play that game, it's totally awesome. Like it's great. It's got all these levels to go through. Just a fantastic high score chase.
I mean, I think there was a time on Xbox Live in which we were all on Xbox Live and only people were on Xbox Live. Like that's been destroyed by Steam and PS4.
People are out
like PS Plus.
High score
or whatever it
chasing
is.
is a challenge because people are split on different platforms.
Right,
now.
there are
Yeah.
more places for that.
And it doesn't limit you to one high score. Like we all just arbitrarily chose the default level to all compete on when Pac-Man Championship Edition
Yeah.
DX2 or DX came out.
Yeah.
The first one. And we just all played it. But there were other levels, but I didn't care because the leaderboards only mattered for one. I think that the options like made it so the leaderboards didn't matter for this.
I got another couple here too. Virginia's neat.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, Virginia?
Yeah, Virginia's really neat. I don't want to say much more except Virginia's really neat, and you got to check it out.
You should say more.
Virginia,
Tell us what
Owlboy.
happens in the end.
You need to tell people where they can check these games out.
Okay, well, Virginia, you're going to be able to. Virginia's that was at PS4 and Steam. I'm
I
trying to
know it's
remember.
on Steam.
That
I think
sounds
it's
right.
also on
It's on PS4
Okay,
also. I believe.
Virginia, Owlboy, which is a PC game.
I'm playing
It's-
through Owlboy right now.
You like an Owlboy?
Well, I don't want to. I think it's a little overrated.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I really like Owlboy, and then
That one's only on PC.
that's
for
a
now.
PC game.
Well,
yeah.
Owlboy is like, I mean, it's taking on one of our favorite genres collectively on Scoop, right? Like 2D Metroidvania.
It's-
So
Yeah.
if it's not better than everything we've ever played, then it's tough.
I think
right?
Owlboy is the prettiest 2D game I've ever played. It's incredible that every single that game is another one that's famous for taking I think 8 years to make, just forever. It was
Yeah.
winning awards at 6 years ago. And it's easy to see every random cave, every random hallway has hand-drawn, handmade elements that aren't repeated elsewhere in the game.
Yeah.
It's how do they do this? How is every single screen a set piece key screen in another game, but in this game it's the entire game?
It reminds me of Gimmick in that, where you'll just go places and there'll be things that only exist in that
Very
one
obscure
point,
reference.
only
That's
for
a
that.
NES
Yeah,
game that only came out in Europe.
yeah,
And so-
and Japan.
I find the game, and it's not
it
like
called?
the gameplay's bad. I just it doesn't wow me the same way that I mean it's absolutely worth playing for the music and visuals alone. Owlboy is. I'm happy to have played it. I just don't think it's a 10 out of 10.
One more, Kentucky Route Zero Act 4. This is an episodic game that keeps coming out at ridiculously long intervals between episodes.
Yeah.
KRZ is dope. That is a marvelous, marvelous adventure game with a just killer soundtrack that makes these really weird, kind of esoteric story choices. And just when you think it might be skating on the edge of pretentious, something humorous or wonderful or beautiful happens. You're like, oh no, this is great. And Act 4 takes what's previously been kind of a rural American South story and then kind of wheels in a healthy dose of Mark Twain. And it suddenly goes all Huck Finn on you, and it's wonderful.
Is that on PC?
That's on PC.
And you said Act 4.
Yeah, this is Kentucky Route
you
Zero.
can just
Act
jump
4.
into Act 4?
No, I would play all the acts in sequence, but Act 4 is the only one that came out this year, and it's going to be another.
They also sell them as you buy the thing and then you get all the acts as they come out.
Like a
Yeah.
Telltale.
Yeah.
and KRZ, all the acts are short. You can play through this whole game in a few hours. There's one more coming.
One of my favorite games of the year is Super Hot. Just a super cool first-person shooter puzzle turn-based game with a very unique look to it, an awesome sort of premise. It has a story that's very, very cool. I love that game. It's very short, so you have no trouble getting through it. It's on Xbox and PC.
Yeah.
And we played the VR
Oh, yeah,
version of it,
there's
which is a different
VR
game.
Oculus version that's out now.
That's what surprised me is it's a sequel basically. It's
And
not the same
yeah,
levels.
very cool.
Yeah.
You
I did not know that.
Time only moves when you move.
Yep.
And in VR, when you're holding the Oculus Touch controllers, it's actually tied to if your hand is actually physically moving in space. So you have to carefully go for your gun while these things are coming at you. It's really cool.
I had no idea it was different on VR. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh.
Except I can't put in those computer discs.
That's tough, yeah. Actually starting the game is tough. Last week I mentioned SteamWorld Heist, which is a very cool turn-based 2D strategy game. I think the original 3DS version came out late last year, but then all the other platforms came out this year, and I played it this year. And that game's really, really cool. And finally, Enter the Gungeon.
Oh,
is
yeah.
A very awesome, very cool top-down roguelike shooter with
Jeez,
cute
that
pixel
was-
art graphics.
That was this year, wasn't it?
That's on PS4 and PC.
I also want to give another shout out to Eternal card game, which I am enjoying as much as Hearthstone.
It's called
when it was-
Eternal.
Yeah, Eternal. Very cool collectible card game on Steam now, and I think coming to mobile later. Continue to play it every evening. It's replaced Hearthstone as my go-to digital card game of choice.
Yeah, I've been playing that too. It's good.
Yep. We should play each other.
Man, Elder Scrolls Legends, I thought would be out by now, but should be coming very, very soon.
That was a good segment.
Good.
I was thinking oh man, we have to wait until we nominate stuff, but
Yeah.
those are things that nobody else in the office cared about.
We may need to. I'm a little worried about Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Well,
We
do you mean
we
worried
all need
about
to
it?
play that game. I
Yeah.
think.
And now, looking at the other side of the coin, the worst games of 2016. I think all our big reviews are out now, so we can tally up what games really did not really miss the mark this year.
Hamartia.
Is this by our review scores?
So the first few are going to be our review scores, and then there's some others that Metacritic picks up.
Yeah. I mean,
Fun fact. Oh, sorry, didn't interrupt.
well, like IGN used to, like old IGN would
review
review
everything.
every single game that came out ever, and then we eventually just got away from that. So now the worst games, like we just just don't even get scored anymore.
So starting at the top end of our bottom end scale,
Okay.
With a 4.9, is that new TMNT game, Mutants in Manhattan, made by
Platinum
Platinum.
one?
Yeah, TMNT Mutants in Manhattan.
you don't know if you're gonna get good platinum or bad platinum.
Yeah.
Well, it's Platinum. They make so much now.
Are you gonna get Korra and TMNT, or are you gonna get like a tier up from that is Transformers?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna get like Bayonetta?
Yeah. With a
Same tier for me.
4.8.
I think transfer. Oh, sorry.
The 4.8 is Tharsis.
Isn't that dice game?
Yeah, which we had fun.
I totally like Tharsis.
Yeah, we totally had fun playing that. That's like another roguelike game where you're trying to make it to Mars in a spaceship with a small crew.
I'm gonna go
And
look
then-
up that
Sounds
review.
cool.
I'm gonna be an IGN commentator in the review.
And then you roll dice to like see what terrible thing happens to you and your crew. And you
Did the
have,
reviewer just not get it?
when someone dies, you have the option of eating them, but then it starts to make you go crazy. And we did some Let's Plays on it and we totally had fun.
It's a digital board game.
Yeah.
I hope the reviewer like understood that it was meant to be like a digital version of a board game.
You're gonna get back. You reviewed
Like
it.
Mario
You don't
Kart.
remember.
IGN gave that a 4.8.
Oh, I like Tharsis.
Review
I'll
Tharsis.
counterpoint that one. I mean, fair enough. Like everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I was fond of it.
We gave that new Ghostbusters game that came out this summer a 4.4.
Ooh, that game was not fun.
That was like a top-down shooter.
It was a bad top-down
And I
shooter.
don't think it was tied into the new movie, was it? It was just a new Ghostbusters
No,
thing.
I mean they released it around the same time.
Yeah, but it was-
that game just felt like we had to ship. Like
So the best Ghostbusters game is still that weird PS3 one?
No, it's the
the
arcade
PS3
game.
360.
It's the arcade game, the real Ghostbusters.
Well, that too.
the
I think
4-player one.
the
Brawler.
Wii one's really good.
I've never played the Brawler.
It's not a brawler. It's a top-down shooter.
Oh, you
It's like
shoot, that's
Gauntlet.
right.
It's
Yeah,
Gauntlet with Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, the PS3 360 generation game is really, really good.
Yeah, but the Wii's the best version of that. It's just it really is one of those games the Wii remote makes more fun.
Yeah.
This one hurts. Hyrule Warriors Legends. We gave that one a 4.0.
Well,
The
that's
3DS
because
version.
Hyrule
3DS.
Warriors, like, whatever. It was an okay game.
We gave it a
played
7.
Yeah. but-
Something.
Well, I like how everyone's like, how are they going to port this to 3DS?
Yeah,
and it turns
they
out
can't.
now they just
I mean, it's about numbers on screen. You just can't pull it off with a 3DS. It's a silly port.
Yeah.
It's a silly port.
Tis a silly port.
This is, this one I forgot even came out this year. Umbrella Corps,
Oh, yeah.
the Resident Evil shooter, came out this summer. We gave that a 3.8.
That's another one of those things that people are like, man, that seems like a bad idea. Capcom must know what they're doing. No.
Not with that
At
one.
least they didn't put Resident Evil in the title.
Harmonix Music VR got a 3.5.
Ryan did not like that game.
He likes a rock band. Big rock band fan. And
He probably likes Just Dance. He just doesn't want to admit it.
Who doesn't like Just Dance?
I'm not even sure what I'd rather not play. Just
Yeah, I'd
Dance
rather
myself.
not play Just Dance. It doesn't mean I don't like it.
I don't even know what Harmonix Music VR is. Some sort of VR music experience, I assume.
I think it's the Wii music of
I
VR
have
games.
deducted.
That's a safe guess.
This machine has detected something. And then
Those are great
IGN's.
in Dishonored. I love this.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of Dishonored. The lowest review we gave to a game this year was Alakine's Gun, and I don't even know what that is.
Nope.
It's got a 3.0 from IGN.
Wasn't that bad third person like brawler adventure game?
Alakine's Gun. I've never even heard of it.
I may have made that up.
Everyone
In
is
my
being
head, I
good.
think it's like this. It's got a stylish art style and then had neat sort of third person Batman-y combat.
This is
I
not
may
ringing
be
any
thinking of
bells.
a different game completely.
Broadening our search to Metacritic scores. Remember Homefront: The Revolution
Yeah.
came out this year. That has a 48 on Metacritic, at least the PS4 version.
I think we gave it like maybe a 6 or
Yeah,
something.
we're not
like
much
that.
higher.
Yeah, you wanted to root for that game, but
You
it
wanted
just-
to root for Mighty Number 9.
Yeah. Oh, my
Yeah.
tears are so salty.
It came out this year.
Yeah,
Also has a 48 on Metacritic.
Yeah, there are a lot of Mega Man games, dozens of Mega Man games, and many of them are among the finest examples of their genre ever made, and many
Two
of
of
them, and many of them are not.
It's crazy.
And,
Three of them.
It's such a sad story because a lot of people are like desperate for a new Mega Man game.
Yeah.
And the creator he's going rogue, he's going solo. I'm going to make you a new Mega Man game on my own terms. And then they messed it up so bad.
yeah, he unfortunately made one of the bad Mega Man games. He made Mega Man 7.
It's going to be okay though, because I think Bloodstained is going to rule.
In 2018.
so excited.
2018?
Yeah.
Is that for real?
Yeah, they pushed it back
Yeah,
to
push it
Demon.
2018. I know.
We got to get a hold of you guys.
Yeah, let's get him on. Let's get him on the scoop phone.
He's got you whip him around the
him on the
ankles,
scoop phone?
you pull him over. Yeah.
I regret to inform you that Bus Simulator 16 is apparently not good. It got a 46.
Oh man.
People like those Sims though.
Well, there goes my holiday break plans.
I know. Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Fortune got a 43 this year on Metacritic. I don't even know what that game is.
I didn't play it.
Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Fortune.
Yeah.
All right. Can't parse that.
A game that looked really cool on PC called Slain with an exclamation point.
Okay.
Very cool. It looked very cool looking pixel art hack and slash game. It has a 40.
Oh yeah, I remember you came over to my desk one day
like,
and
look how
showed me
cool.
this. You're like, holy, look how neat this looks. And you're like, oh.
Is that the
Never mind.
tentacle one or is that a different one?
No, it's like a medieval hack and slash game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the lowest rated game of the year overall from all outlets is the PS4 version of that Ghostbusters game that came out this summer.
That game
So
was real
sad.
bad.
Yeah, it's too bad. There you have it, the worst reviewed games of 2016.
Don't play them.
Don't play those.
Nope.
Play Super Hot instead.
Super.
Except maybe Tharsis.
Well, yeah, but play those.
I'm gonna go. Now I'm wondering if we're the crazy ones. Like if we go look at the Steam reviews, what did they think?
We totally had fun playing the game. Now, to be fair, you can have fun playing a bad game.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
maybe we just had fun
We
playing a bad game.
also fight with each other a little bit in that Let's Play.
Did we? Well, because we disagreed on what we should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the term
Actually,
for kusoge?
Kusoge, yeah. It's
what?
the Japanese word for it literally means shitty game. Kuso is shit and ge is short for game. So kusoge, if you go to a Japanese like game store, there's always a kusoge corner. And they'll
It's like a
have
beloved genre of terrible games.
Yeah.
Is that how
And-
like Deadly Premonition gets so popular?
I don't know.
That wasn't meant to be snarky. I thought that's why
Deadly
people like it.
Premonition is like top tier Kusoge, definitely. But, yeah.
But the example is Spelunker, the original Spelunker for NES. It's just
Yeah.
a crummy game where it's just hard to play. And
But is it like
you
how-
awkwardly get through these negative Donkey Kong like levels? Basically, you go downwards.
Is the comparison like how people like hate watch a show like Arrow
Yes.
now?
it kind of it has two levels. Like first Kusoge is just any
Like
bad
True
game.
Blood at the
but-
end there.
Yeah.
True Blood.
But the
So
second's like a beloved bad game. Like
Yeah.
there is that part too. Spelunky's an example. Oh, what's that?
Spelunker.
Spelunker, not Spelunky.
Bubsy.
Spelunky is
Bubsy, not
wonderful.
But
Kusoge.
Spelunky is inspired a little bit by Spelunker.
By Spelunker.
Bubsy
What's-
3D.
What's that terrible?
But the NES era, that's where this came from, and then people actually really like have fond memories of how difficult and bad the game is.
Yeah.
Does anybody has?
I love that idea. It's like Mystery Science Theater, right? You know?
Oh, no,
movies are really fun to watch.
I have a
riff on,
folder on my computer with a badly made game called Kusoge, where I'm trying to make the worst possible game.
That's great.
And like deliberately make the worst game I can.
Yeah.
And I've been working on it for a while. Someday, perhaps. The hero is Kusoge Joe.
Yeah.
And he looks like He looks like Pitfall Harry, kind of.
All right.
So your goal is to beat Bubsy 3D.
Yeah, I think I can do that.
All right, this next email comes from Paul Laska in New York. He says a few episodes ago, you toiled about Capcom sales figures and how Mega Man has never been able to break the top 40 in terms of sales numbers for Capcom. This could be the reason why a mainline Mega Man game has remained non-existent. This made me think about other beloved franchises with very vocal audiences. I know Nintendo will never release sales figures, but do you think the Metroid series could be suffering the same fate? Could it not be that great of a seller as compared to other Nintendo IPs, which are sure moneymakers? Could the perception of fan desire really just be a very vocal minority audience?
Well, I
You know,
mean,
what's interesting is that Nintendo has released sales figures.
That's what I was gonna say. Is Nintendo often releases sales figures, so I don't know what that's about.
And we know that the Metroid series has sold over 17 million copies.
Metroid is
That's
much smaller
according to Nintendo.
than Zelda and Mario and Mario Kart.
But 17
Like,
million is, to put this in context, that puts it slightly above StarCraft,
Yeah.
NBA 2K, Half-Life, and Forza. Those franchises.
There's also been a lot more of them.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, to me, that would put it into the, that's not territory. Hey, nobody's buying this. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
I had always heard. I mean,
They
Jared,
just made a Metroid game this year too. But
Jared,
let's
maybe-
just be clear here.
Yeah, but
Metroid
not,
Prime
Not exactly what people were.
What
Federation
Federation
Force.
Force came out. I played it. It's not terrible, but it's terrible.
It's pretty terrible.
So it's always been my understanding, and this is coming like Super Metroid's my favorite game ever made. I think that franchise has always been more popular here than in Japan. I don't know this, but I just
It is.
hear
No,
that I
that's
hear
true.
floating in the ether that that's never been a franchise that was big over there.
It's not that it's not big. It's just not as big as Super Metroid was here.
Yeah, my impression is that it enjoys a following there, but that in the United States, that it just has retained relevancy better. I mean, that's why you have Retro making Metroid games on the GameCube and them not be made in Japan. That's always been the operant assumption, and I think there's some truth to that. They sold. You go into Japan, and there's plenty of copies of the Metroid Famicom Disk System disc in like old game stores. Somebody bought them.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that it was a disc system game can't have helped it either, for that matter.
Well, so we know
Saves. They needed to be able to save.
we know that it seems to sell pretty well, and I also think that the type of Metroid game that people are wanting isn't like a top tier AAA. Game. They just want a 2D side-scrolling,
I
old
don't
school
understand
Metroid game.
it, Damon. It's not like it's so easy to sit here and like criticize a game developer. It's
Sure,
so
sure.
obvious. But in this instance, it's so obvious.
And like the genre
just
totally
make a 2D Metroid
come
game.
back. Owlboy, Axiom
Yeah.
Verge, Ori and the Blind Forest, like
All
this
those
genre.
Castlevania games.
Yeah, and like why just the original make the original Metroid game?
They did
Just-
make Yoshi's Woolly World and a Kirby this year. Like they're not opposed to making good 2D games.
Just make a 2D
Yeah.
Metroid.
Take
That's all you have to do.
Robobots.
You're getting all worked up about it.
To carry it back to a discussion we were having before the show started, one of the tracks on Kanye's track list that was put on the internet is Metroid Dread. That was the name of one of his TurboGrafx 16 album tracks.
Trolling.
Yeah.
And that is how Kanye West became Data East.
Anyway, I do hope we get a new Metroid game sometime in the not too distant future. And Paul says, by the way, Jared Petty is my spirit animal.
This
And
this
now-
is a good time for me to mention that there's a single piece of glitter right on Jared's head right here.
There's a piece of glitter on my
remove it.
head?
Don't
And
remove
I
it.
love it. I think
Don't
that's what
remove
makes,
it.
How did
makes
I-
him such a spiritual animal.
How did I get there? I also feel like,
I don't know,
Damon,
where
you
were
were
you-
very, very clear. And you're not being listened to. You're not being respected right now.
What am I being clear
You said
about?
don't remove it repeatedly.
Yeah, I know. And you just said it.
You moved it a little bit
but-
out.
It was instinctual.
Jared
Just
has
leave it.
senioritis. He doesn't care anymore.
Where were
That's
you
right.
rolling around in glitter today, buddy?
Yeah.
It just kind of comes out of my body every now and then. It just
You're
exudes-
one of Earth's glitter sources.
It exudes from my pores. I am 21% pyrite.
We have to squeeze
Fool's
them.
gold.
Oh man, pyrite and amber. Amber, they found
Hold
a
on.
dinosaur tail in amber.
Yeah,
This
scoop
is not Dinosaur Scoop.
All right.
anymore.
Man, I am off the rails. Damon, I owe you an apology
You
for
don't owe me an apology. But before we hop into 20 questions, what are we playing this week?
It's a secret.
Did I mention on the show last week that I built a gaming PC?
I'm not sure
No,
if we
you-
did
I
mention that.
You
I
didn't.
built a gaming PC.
You built it on Friday, dude.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
If you
And-
build it, they will come.
And in no way did Dan Stapleton help me. I did it 100% by myself. No, it's actually pretty funny. So
Dan just slowly got drunk while helping Justin build a PC, and they got to the more complex stuff later. And I was like, "Is this a good idea?"
So first of all, it's the most excited and animated I have ever seen Dan Stapleton in
Oh.
the 5 years that I've worked here. And second of all, the way that we built it together, but the way that we built it is the way that a little boy helps his dad work on a car. Dan's like, "Here, hold this." He had me hold the light, and then he would do all the work, and then he would give me like one thing to clip in. He's like, "Okay, Justin, take this and clip it into there." And I would go to do it, and I'd have it backwards, and he'd be like, "No, flip it around." And then I would flip it around, and it would clip in, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm building it."
Oh,
I
that's so
did
great.
it.
Are you having fun with it?
He didn't ever let me work the screwdriver. He always did that.
Yeah.
Are you having fun playing
There were
with it?
some moments.
Yeah, I mean the irony is I built this not some monster computer, but like a $1,100 like very high end. It can play everything at ultra settings, and I am using it. I played through Super Hot and I played through Owlboy.
Justin.
But that's just because I was in the mood
you
for a
have to
few
play.
smaller games. Like I'll jump into some bigger stuff a little bit later.
Is it plugged into your television in your living room?
Yeah.
So you can sit on the couch and play?
So yeah, I mean, like an underrated benefit of it is the way that I have it set up is I have a solid state drive, and that's what Windows is installed in, and then all the games are installed on this 2 terabyte drive,
Right.
and so Windows boots up faster than my Xbox. Like if you turn that computer on, it's up and in Steam Big Picture mode in literally 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And the nature of our job is we get access to a lot of games. So I have the added benefit there of just having, a large library of games to choose from.
The
which is,
Steam Press account.
yeah, it's that's not a benefit.
Secret.
Not a benefit available to everybody, but it is one of the perks of this job. And so
I have a living room PC set up, and I adore it. I'm so happy to hear that you're having fun with this. It's great.
I'm catching up on. That's why I'm called out. Shouted out Pac-Man. Playing through Pac-Man Championship Edition 2, played through Super Hot, played through Owlboy, and now that I've done some smaller games, I think I'm probably. It's sort of random, but I want to blast through this year's Call of Duty.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's
Just play the campaign. I hear the campaign's really great, so I'll do Call of Duty and Titanfall next, probably.
Yeah,
You got any interest?
Titanfall's fun.
Any interest in Civ 6 now that you have the PC?
Well, I'm playing on my television right now, so I need to figure out. I need to get some sort of couch desk solution. So right now I'm limited to only controller games.
I'm playing a lot of, and I think Sam's playing a lot of Final Fantasy 15, and I'm super enjoying it. It's
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
me
like
too.
the most fun
It's
I've had
the
with Final
first 3D
Fantasy.
Final Fantasy I've ever played.
Well, I've tried the others. I tried 13 and 12.
How good is it, right?
It's really good. It's the
just
most
walk
fun I've
around and
had
kill
with Final
monsters.
Fantasy since 9.
it's wacky.
There's not
and-
a lot of BS.
Yeah,
just
there's
like-
not a lot of BS. It's wacky and goofy and fun and silly, and
I
I really
understand
enjoy
the
it.
combat. Oh my gosh! And when there's little nods, since I've never played a Final Fantasy since 6, there's little nods to Final Fantasy. I'm like, oh, I'm glad these are still in the series. But man, when I saw their little sprites,
yeah.
and they do like
great.
their little
Yep.
like, oh man, that was great.
Yeah, it's
There's
really good.
I've become a member of the Master Race so quickly. I played probably
PC Master
PC
Race.
Master Race.
That's still a strange term to use.
Yeah, I know, but it didn't take me any time at all to be like, I think I'll wait for the PC version. I played maybe 8 hours on PS4, and it was awesome. But I'm just like, they're continuing to patch the game, and the PC version will probably be even prettier. So I'm like, I'll just table this to next year.
I'm so happy it's a game that's accessible and fun to play.
Yeah,
And it's Final
it's
Fantasy.
super-
I've really weighed my options, and this is the one I was like, I'll try it.
It's
so fun.
It's tremendously approachable, and it takes all the weighty Final Fantasy crap that you're supposed to get with the Final Fantasy game. But unlike some previous installments, it offsets that with a delightfully effective lightheartedness,
Yeah.
and it pulls it off, which
And it looks like
previous
nothing
ones
else, right?
haven't in a
I mean,
while.
Yeah.
the combination of environments
Yeah.
and tech and stuff is just like, it's a fantasy game that's not a Tolkien ripoff.
And
I
can, we
love
just,
that.
and can we talk about that combat system? Not that it could have a little bit more depth. I'm not saying it's perfect, but they invented a new RPG combat system that's
Yeah.
accessible,
Yeah.
but also has some depth to it, and it works. Like, how do you do that? Like, that's so hard to like.
Yeah, there's like hints of the last story in there. You can
Yeah.
kind of maybe see where the thinking was coming from, and they really did, I think, nail it for the most part. It's a lot of fun. It's just a lovely experience. It's some of the most fun
love-
I've had with a game all year.
I love how those guys are such good friends.
Yeah.
It's
I like camping
Boys'
with them.
night.
Like camping.
Yeah, it's boys' night the game.
It's a
Boys Night
Final
game.
Fantasy game that opens with "Stand by Me." That's fantastic. I want that to exist in the world.
that rendition of Stand By Me is pretty corny.
It is corny, but,
like
but again,
it.
it fits
Yeah,
the
I'm not
game.
gonna-
That's it. Like I was watching that scene, and I was like, I'm about to think this is way too on the nose, and that was just like, no,
Like-
I like it.
I like reviewing my photos at the end of the night and
photos
choosing which
are
ones I'm
really
gonna save.
entertaining.
I like they take good shots. It's like, wow.
They take really funny, good shots. All the
Have you seen the photo bombs yet?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the photo bombs,
That's
and then the stuff that'll happen if you leave the campsite menus on, like somebody fooling around with their
Oh,
guns
yeah.
and just
Those are
fall
great,
down
too.
and
Yeah.
trip, or they're marvelous.
Yeah, that's good. My one complaint about the four guys, I think the main guy is like the least likable.
Yeah.
I think the other guys are a lot.
He's a
more
little
So
bit of a
sulky.
cipher for the
Yeah.
player to project.
Yeah, that's true.
onto.
Oh, that's kind of a Final Fantasy tradition to have a crappy protagonist.
What's
Like-
up with that dog delivery service?
Oh.
I love it. It's so crazy.
Also, it makes me hungry for
They don't
cup
explain
noodles.
it.
Yeah. The cup noodles thing is weird. I could do without that.
Have you been to the
Coleman?
cup noodles quest yet? That has the 3 different prongs. No. Oh, there's 3 different ingredients you can choose, and you get an individualized quest for each different custom cup noodles
That's really
recipe.
But I gotta say, I've been eating nothing but cup noodles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good lord.
Also, Coleman.
Jared, do you have something you've been playing you want to share?
Yeah, I continuing to play on my NES Classic through Zelda: The Second Quest. Not Zelda 2, but the second quest of Zelda 1. I
Did
finished.
you use the cheat to get there?
I did not use the cheat. I played through the first game. I've had a really good time going through that. The Legend of Zelda remains a delightful game. I really think it holds up quite well. If you are a Dark Soulsy type person and you've never played The Legend of Zelda, go back and play it. You're going to love it. The second quest is hard, really hard, and I'm trying to do it without a guide, which I'm discovering may be a terrible error in judgment, because that second quest was designed, I think, with a guide in
I have a
mind.
book you can borrow.
Yeah.
It has really funny drawings. in it.
If you do play the original Legend of Zelda, remember that Dodongo dislikes smoke.
The Dongo does dislike smoke.
Pro tip.
And pro tips, go grab the first 3 heart containers so you can get with the bomb and the candle early, get the magic shield early, go buy the blue ring first.
Okay. All right.
Tips guide.
Yep.
All right. Now is the time on GameScoop when we play a video game 20 questions. Wow.
Hooray.
This
Gotta hide
week's
my eyes.
suggestion comes from
You saw it? You saw what it
No,
was?
I didn't see it. He's got it folded.
I can see through his paper.
Gimzu. Gimzu sent in this week's suggestion.
Where's
Sent-
Gimzu from?
I don't know.
Well, that's one of our best hints every week.
You're gonna have
If
to go
it's
with
from
that.
Florida,
We're playing on hard
we
mode
know
this time.
that it's gonna
Playing on hard mode this week.
hard mode. Okay.
Everyone knows how this works. We have 20 yes or no questions to guess Gimzu's mystery game. Let the questioning begin.
Can you eat things in this game?
I won't answer because I can't say for sure.
Does your character wear a hat?
No.
All right. Was this game released after January 1st, 2000?
Yes.
All right. Reason contemporary.
Is this a Japanese game?
No.
Right.
After January 1st, 2000. Is this game, well, let's see. Do we want to do console generation?
Yeah, that doesn't hurt.
Well, I can. Okay, did this game come out after January 1st, 2010?
No.
Okay, so we got our decade down. We know right around the window for it. Is this game part of the GameCube, PS2, Xbox generation?
Yes.
Okay.
Does it have sequels?
No.
No sequels.
Wait, I don't remember. Was it Japanese?
No, it is not Japanese, and
Western game.
It's a Western game with no sequels from that period.
Okay. Is this game primarily associated? Is this game a exclusive on one console?
No.
Exclusive. Okay.
So that's actually, that eliminates all first parties. That maybe is a question we should ask more often.
Yeah, that's a great question. Man, wish I was going to be around to ask it more.
But I guess there aren't really any it eliminates Microsoft first party games basically.
Great.
Well, but I'm just saying in general, like it eliminates all Sony first parties, Nintendo, and Microsoft.
Yeah, that's actually, it's pretty great.
A Western made third party
Well,
games.
it takes something like Metroid Fusion out, for example. Or not Fusion, I mean Prime.
Do you shoot a gun in this game?
Yes.
The gun. Is this a 2D game?
It could finally be
Well,
black.
it's almost. Yeah, I was gonna say black too.
We always, for some reason, we always think it's that. I don't even really like that game that
Very
much.
funny.
Is this a 2D game?
No.
All right, so it's a 3D game.
And you shoot guns.
You shoot
Number
guns.
13.
Okay, but
You
is
don't
this
wear a
a
hat?
first person game?
No.
Not first.
That's 10.
That's 10. Okay.
Piano 3.
Should we recap?
Yeah, let's recap.
No, because it's Japanese made.
It's between 2000 and 2009.
Well, we know it's PS2, GameCube, Xbox. So that
Western
limits it.
developed, no sequel. You wear a hat, shoot a gun.
You
thought you
do
said
wear a
you-
hat. I thought you said you didn't wear a hat.
Oh, I'm sorry. You don't wear a hat. Sorry.
Oh, you don't? Wow.
Do not wear a hat.
Do
Shoot a
not wear a
gun.
hat.
It is not in first person.
So it's not Red Dead.
and it's not a 2D game.
Not sure
Revolver.
if you
Right.
eat things.
Yeah, I couldn't. I can't
Siphon
say
Filter? No, but that got a bunch of sequels. No
Yeah.
sequels, right?
So no,
No
sequels at
sequels.
all. Well, that's a big deal. We could ask about a license.
No sequels, Western made third person shooter.
Was it a
third person
licensed
game where
game?
you shoot a gun.
I'm sorry.
Was it a licensed game, or is it based on a license?
No.
Unlicensed. Wow. No sequels.
This is going to be tough to narrow down at this point.
Yeah. Do we want to try for critical reception?
Yeah, I mean, is this a game that people really liked? Is it well liked?
Yes.
Well liked.
Why wouldn't it have gotten sequels, Damon?
There-
Why
thought you
did
also
this
know.
well
Oh,
liked?
wait a minute. Beyond Good and Evil, maybe? But does anybody use a gun in Beyond Good
I
and
don't
Evil?
think
You
so.
usually hit
Use
people
that
with a
staff.
stick. Yeah.
You don't shoot a gun.
All right. I don't think you ever shoot a gun in that game.
Shoot. Great photographs.
Yeah.
Did we say shoot a gun or shoot? Oh man, was
We
it
said
gun?
shoot a gun.
I'm not trying to trick you up.
Oh, okay.
making
I was
it
about to get real excited.
Definitely a gun.
I was like, there's a game for that period with no sequels by a French
There's a bunch
developer.
of Splinter Cell
It's not Prince
sequels.
of Persia because that has
Well,
sequels.
okay, was this game developed in America?
No.
Okay, so
okay.
maybe Ubisoft?
Yeah. I mean, that eliminates Activision, EA.
I mean, it sounds like Beyond Good.
Well, I guess it could be Canada. I hope not.
Could be Canada.
But it's probably not. It's probably Europe.
That's a lot of games from that period. Goodness, that could be a
So,
lot.
I mean, that steers me towards Ubisoft. What were they doing back then? Prince of Persia,
Was it Ubisoft, BioWare? Who else could that be?
Why Bioware?
But they're in Canada.
Oh yeah. I'll be annoyed if it's Canada.
That was the next generation.
Yeah, and that had sequels, so it can't be that. Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. Jade Empire.
Well, I got a good question for this.
All right.
Did it come out on GameCube?
Hold on.
Because so few third-party games came out on GameCube, that would actually help me.
No.
Okay.
All right.
So that means that eliminates a big library of games that I know. It's harder for me on PS2.
I mean,
and
Xbox and PS2.
What are that big Xbox games? That's where you go from here. Conquer?
Blinks the Time Sweeper.
Crackdown
about
had a
Conquer?
sequel.
Conquer wasn't until
Did it get a
Crackdown
sequel?
that was 360. What am I saying? Sorry.
Crackdown got sequels.
And that was a 360
Crackdown
game.
was
I'm in the
360
wrong.
What about
console.
other rare games? Grab
see.
by Ghoulies, is that the one?
Grab by the Ghoulies was their only game on the OG Xbox.
Shoot a gun in it. I don't know that game.
Perfect Dark had a sequel.
Oddworld
that was
Stranger's
a long
Wrath
time.
didn't get
Oddworld
sequels.
got-
It was a sequel, but it didn't
was.
get sequels.
Stranger's Wrath's a good one. Jeez. Oh yeah, that's a smart.
So what are these
I like
all
that.
action games? Is that what we call them?
But that
Yeah,
was first
third
person.
person.
That was first person. The Stranger's Wrath.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You shoot a gun, so it can't be sports.
Yep. Shoot a gun. Maybe it could be sci-fi. Are there any things where you're shooting like laser guns?
Time splitters thing.
That's first
Is it
person.
from that period? Yeah, almost anything you're shooting in
Well, it's
that
not first
period.
person, yeah.
Right. This is third person. You're
I
shooting-
mean, like
Not
one
Should we
big.
ask if there's you can drive vehicles in it? That would help.
like you shoot a gun. I'm picturing. Yeah, maybe.
But it's not first person.
No,
so
let's just try it. We have a few more. Oh man.
Ask if it's. I mean, is it open world?
No. It's 15. Since we're getting close to wire, I should let you know that Gimsu has promised, if you guys guess it, he will get a GameScoop tattoo.
What? Why didn't you tell us that so long ago? I wouldn't have asked a stupid opening question.
nice to open this up with.
I forgot.
We can get
Wow.
it. We can get it.
Oh God, I don't know, man. This is a hard one. It seems like it'd be
Yeah,
fairly
I
obscure.
think
from
Sam's
that
on the right
period.
track though. Like I've been picturing third-person shooters, but it could just be a game where you shoot a gun, but also do a lot of other things.
Let's see.
Shoot a gun and talk to ladies, maybe.
Yep. Thinking it's not open world-ish.
Or it
so
could
it
even
takes
be
that
like an
whole-
RPG.
It's not. Yeah, it's not one of like the GTA ripoffs because it would be open world-ish. If it
Yeah.
I
were.
love how it's not on GameCube, but it's on multi-platform, so it's probably PC.
I mean, that's like
It's to Xbox.
like it got the sequels, but like it could be something like The Getaway, you know, or something like
That's
that.
a thought. That's a really good thought.
Something in that wheelhouse.
Wow,
Wheelman.
That wheel man.
That was PS1 generation.
5 questions left.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time here.
Should we ask if it's an indie game?
No, there were very few at that period.
And it was also, I mean, we could have just asked if it was Ubisoft.
No, don't burn one on that because
What if it's not? We just know it was made in Europe.
no.
we know
could
it
be
wasn't made in
Canada
America.
or-
Well, I asked
Still-
America. I didn't ask United States. Canada could conceivably be a part of America. It's part of
Ubisoft,
North America.
Ubisoft does seem close. I mean, that's
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I'd say Ubi. I'd say
Yeah.
burn Ubi.
But I don't know what that leaves us with. Like
You wanna
Splinter Cell
burn
was that
Ubisoft?
gen.
No. I mean, I want to use that question.
I mean, the only thing I can think about Ubisoft back then was Beyond Good and Evil. That year where they did Splinter Cell, Beyond Good and Evil, and Prince of Persia all at once. And that's the only thing I can think of.
Oh man, when was that? Was it Trespasser? The game with the no, that was first person. That won't work.
How can we narrow down wide swaths?
I think
still?
some people need to get in the studio, so we gotta bring
okay,
this home.
we gotta bring it home. Okay, wow, we're taking too long. Goodness gracious, I'm so nervous.
5 questions left.
I want to get this right.
A
Yeah.
GameScoop tattoo is on the line.
I mean,
Can you?
go ahead.
Should we do vehicles?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or time period or genre?
I like vehicles.
You like vehicles, really? More than genre, even?
Yes, I just said
All
I
right,
like
let's,
vehicles.
all right, let's go.
Like,
I
do you
just have-
drive vehicles in this?
I hope I'm not shooting myself in the foot, but yes.
Okay, there are boats
So
in
you
Beyond Good
you
and
can
Evil.
drive some vehicles. You can shoot some guns.
Yep,
This game have multiplayer?
No.
not a multiplayer.
That's good. That was
That's
a
a
good
great
one.
question.
It sounds like Beyond Good and Evil.
It does, but do you ever shoot a gun in that game? I don't remember ever shooting a gun.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is this game
Sorry, that was on GameCube. That's out of the.
Oh yeah, that's how that was on GameCube. That's right. We
does
know-
this
oh.
game take place on like, contemporary modern day Earth?
Yes.
Oh,
So
That's
it's a
18.
knockoff of GTA.
I mean,
type game, then.
so
but it's not,
It's
open
not open
world.
world.
It's not open world.
Yeah, and it only came to either
Destroy All Humans.
Aw, dang.
That's a fun game.
But that's not contemporary. That's like 1950s, right?
I don't know. Is that open world too? Bully?
Bully was you don't use a gun in Bully. Do
Bully
you?
didn't get sequels.
Didn't get sequels.
Yeah, but you shoot like a slingshot and stuff. And
Yeah, but
throw
I thought we said shoot a gun. Did we?
Yeah.
Did we say shoot or shoot a gun, Damon?
I think you said shoot a gun.
Okay,
There's probably a BB gun in Bully, guys.
I don't remember.
yeah, I mean, I think there
gotta be.
is.
Do you use vehicles in Bully?
Where
No.
was Bully developed? Rockstar London?
Oh, I don't know which studio did that. Good question.
And I don't know what to count Rockstar as. It's probably
Do you
American.
do you play as a human?
Yes.
Okay, well that's not
human.
destroy all humans.
Oh, there we
Sorry,
go.
that's why I
All right.
asked.
That's
What are we
nine-
down to?
That is, I'm afraid, 19.
Oh man.
Your last guess has to be a game.
Oh, it has.
It's your last chance to get for someone to get
So
a GameScoop
what were you guys
tattoo.
playing around Bully and Destroy All Humans? And that was like kind of like you get in vehicles,
around that time, man.
shoot
That is
stuff.
a.
Oh, what about like Guerrilla Red Faction?
Oh, yeah, but
or games with deforming environments.
Well, but Red Faction, those all have sequels. I mean, that's a series, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Red
Well, what are the
Faction's a
games like? There was
series.
like a LucasArts game like that at the time where you shot stuff and things blew up.
Was it licensed? There's no
Yeah, I mean, if it was a Star Wars game,
it's well received. That's the part that's hurting my
I'm
head.
tripped up by like
know.
by a beloved game that didn't get any. Not maybe not beloved, but like a game that people liked that didn't have sequels.
What's
that
this
was-
game that people are mad didn't get sequels in that period? That's
What's
what we
the
need to
game
think
with,
about.
with shark guns?
Well, there was Saints Row, had shark guns.
Let's think for a second. Games from that period that people are always clamoring for sequels for.
It
Like
can't be
that's-
Bully.
Crackdown's one generation too late.
All right, Crackdown's too
Should we
late. And
just go-
Crackdown had two. I mean, there
Should
was.
we just go with Bully?
I mean, Bully.
I mean, we have to guess. I don't think that's right, but we don't have a choice.
All right, sure.
What else?
We'll say.
Is it Bully?
It is not Bully.
What is it?
dang.
I'm curious.
Released in 2005
Uh huh.
for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and PC.
Okay.
Published by Atari. Developed by
What?
Quantic Dream.
I'm still not there.
I am still not here.
The single player interactive movie / action adventure Indigo.
Indigo Prophecy.
Prophecy.
Oh, I would not have gotten that in a million years. No.
Yeah.
Is that when Atari was still Infogrames?
No,
Yeah,
I think
well,
it was, I think it was
yeah.
Atari.
We made a mistake by
man.
not further narrowing down.
Wow.
genre.
No, I would not have gotten Indigo
The
Prophecy.
predecessor to Heavy Rain.
Yep, it's a great pick for a game. A great pick.
We would have gotten
Well,
there.
if you want to win.
we would have gotten there if we would have asked if it was an action game or,
Yeah.
or something. Of
Oh,
that
you know
nature.
it that well? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
I
it's
had
just
that
like
game.
you said, Heavy Rain.
played
It's
that
that kind of
game.
game.
I don't think I've ever said those words, so I never would have guessed it.
Yeah. It's predecessor to Heavy Rain. It's a good
Cool.
game.
Wow. That was a
But
real
since
head scratcher.
so I can't remember if you drive vehicles or not, but I'm
think
assuming
so.
that since you travel around to different locations, you have to get in a vehicle somehow.
I don't think you do. I think it's more like Heavy Rain, where
You just jump to the next
I
location.
think
That's
so.
the next
Hey,
scene.
Bully would have been a good one, though, huh?
Yeah.
Bully would have been a good
And I
one.
also am not absolutely 100% sure that you don't wear a hat in that game, but I don't think you do.
No,
I
you have a
remember the,
bald head.
yeah, I remember the
No, not in
character.
Bully. In
Indigo Prophecy.
In Indigo Prophecy.
I
it's
think,
in the winter.
I
You're
think
wearing
the
a
game
winter
you
hat.
were talking about is Bully. I
Hat
think it was
gate.
Bully.
What, you think there's a hat in the game?
Yeah, you're wearing a winter hat in that game, aren't you?
I don't see. That's not my memory, but
Yeah, I don't know either.
Already
I
a
would
gate?
have to.
It is a gate.
Genzu has escaped having
It's
to
okay.
get.
Don't get a tattoo.
You're
of
welcome to get
GameScoop.
it anyway.
I feel like
that
Kid
one is,
Icarus. I
that one is
failed.
maybe a little bit more obscure than I would normally pick, but with his
was
tattoo
worth
dare,
it,
I
yeah.
thought that would be.
Yeah,
thought
don't
that
get a tattoo.
impossible. But for
We
next
saved
week,
you, buddy.
I've long wanted to put Jared's skills to the real test.
But I'm so bad at this game.
So this is the chance, listeners and viewers. Send me your most obscure game recommendations next week. And next week we're gonna do 2 rounds. We'll do the regular round and then a round
Yes.
just for Jared.
Yes.
I'm going to get murdered.
Make it the weirdest, most Japanese.
It can be a Japanese game, whatever.
Magical Drop 3
from any
just-
time period,
I like
any
Magical Drop
platform. Even if the game wasn't
Well,
released
we
in the
know.
US, just pick an obscure game just for Jared for his final game scoop.
Oh no, I'm
And
gonna get killed. Oh,
send
my
that to him
goodness.
next
We'll
week.
make it 25 questions.
Well, yeah, sure. We can make 25 questions.
I don't know what it's gonna be. I gotta get killed here.
That is all the scoops we have for you this week. Remember, you can always reach us at the email address, gamescoop@ign.com. Send your obscure 20 questions, suggestions for Jared to that address. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Sam.
You are welcome.
My name is
Thank you.
Damon. This is IGN Gamescoop, and we're out.